What would drive someone to make a decision that would cost them their life just 7 days after losing their soulmate? Welcome to True Crime Chronicles HQ channel. Today, we're diving into a story so tragic, so heartbreaking, that it will make you question how grief can completely transform a person. This is the story of Maria, a 47-year-old woman whose world came crashing down in the most unimaginable way possible. Before we begin, I want you to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell because stories like this remind us how precious and fragile life really is. And please, stay with me until the end because there's a lesson here that could save someone you love. 7 days. That's all it had been. Just 1 week since Maria had buried the love of her life, her husband of 23 years, Thomas. Cancer had taken him slowly, painfully, and Maria had watched helplessly as the man who had been her everything slowly faded away. Friends and family described Maria as a devoted wife, a woman who had dedicated her entire adult life to caring for her husband through his illness. She had barely slept, barely eaten, pouring every ounce of her being into fighting a battle they both knew they couldn't win. The aftermath of loss. But here's what nobody talks about when someone loses their spouse: the deafening silence that follows, the empty house, the cold bed, the coffee maker that now only needs to brew 1 cup. Maria was drowning in a grief so deep, so consuming, that those closest to her said she seemed like a completely different person. Her sister, Carmen, later told investigators that Maria had called her that morning, crying hysterically. "I can't do this," Maria had sobbed into the phone. "I don't know who I am without him. I don't know how to exist in this world alone." But grief, as we're about to see, can make people do things that are completely out of character, things that, in their right mind, they would never even consider. That afternoon, Maria received a phone call that would seal her fate. It was about Carlos, a man she had apparently developed feelings for during her husband's final months. Whether this was a source of comfort during her darkest hours or something more complicated, we may never fully understand. What we do know is that another woman, Sandra, had also been involved with Carlos. And when Sandra found out about Maria, she was furious. The phone call that day was Sandra demanding that Maria stay away from her man. The confrontation. Now, here's where this story takes a turn that nobody could have predicted. The Maria that her family knew, the quiet, devoted wife who had never hurt a fly, that Maria would have hung up the phone, maybe cried a little, and moved on with her life. But this wasn't that Maria anymore.